Tim witnessed a Bigfoot crawling across the highway. Now, this story comes out of Oregon and takes place on Highway 20. And Tim sent me this in an email describing his experience with what he saw and what he believes is a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot. And it begins when he's on a trip and he is driving at night down this highway. And in his headlights out in the distance, he sees what looks like a mass. And he thinks it's a dead deer. So he starts to take his car and kind of like veer to the side a little. And in the headlights, he noticed that there's like something, it looks wet. Whatever this is, it looks wet. And as he's getting closer, he notices that it's hairy and that it's moving. And when he starts to slow down towards it, this mass is trying to move even faster. And that's when he realizes that it is way too big to be a deer. And it's too big to be a bear. In fact, the first thing that he notices was an arm, a human-like arm, stretched out across a good length of the road. And then he realizes that this is man-like, it's humanoid. And it's covered in wet hair. So as he's beginning to stop, this creature starts to panic and move around even faster. And he notices that its arm is like bent, twisted back. And the arm's really wet. The fur on the arm's really wet. It's almost like glistening. And the creature looks directly at him, and he makes note that the eyes are kind of reflecting. And the nose is short and wide. And a man-like face. One thing that he does notice is that the jaw is broken. It's hanging like that. And so the creature is lifting its head, and he notices that it has a cone-like head. It's not round. It's more cone-shaped. And it begins to really try to drag itself across like this. And it's trying to get up, using its arm to get up, but it's panicking. And Tim says that he himself is panicking. He's shaking. He can't perceive what he has seen. He can't believe what he's seeing. He's terrified for his life. And he says that when he starts to put it in reverse, this thing gets up. And he says that it is at the least, 9 foot tall. And there's blood all down the arm, starting at the jaw, down the arm, down to the thigh. And that thing stumbles across the highway as fast as it can into the tree line. And he watches it disappear into the woods. And then he notices with out in the highway, that this thing might have been hit by a truck. And it had dragged itself a bit of a ways down, or at least it tumbled first, and then began to drag itself. But he's so scared that he keeps reversing. He doesn't even want to cross the bloody trail marks in the road. But then he stops and just sits there for a little while and gets all the shaking out. And he tries to tell himself he didn't see that. He keeps saying, I didn't see it, that was nothing. I didn't see anything. It wasn't a bear. It was nothing. It wasn't a Bigfoot. It wasn't nothing. There's nothing there, is what he tries to tell himself to get his mind prepared to go forward. When he recollects himself, puts it back in drive, and he keeps going. And he keeps driving until he gets to his destination. But he says that he's tried to put this in the back of his mind for a long, long time. And he's only told very, very few people because he knows that nobody's going to believe what he saw. And somewhere out there is somebody, another person who hit this creature. Wherever they are, I don't know, but there's somebody out there with a story of running this over on Highway 20 in Oregon. And Tim happened to find it. But that is Tim's story, and he wanted me to share it in a TikTok video. So, if anybody else has any other stories they'd like to share and want me to read it out, you can DM me or email me. I will drop my email in the description. And I thank everybody who's been liking and favoriting and following so far. And I hope to keep making more of these videos. So send me some stories, guys. I'd love to read them out. And thank you.